On this episode, I'm going to share with you why I believe you as a real estate agent should completely ignore NAR settlement news altogether, at least in the foreseeable future. It's become such a distraction and you've taken your eye off your business. I'm going to tell you exactly what you should be doing instead of following the play-by-play of the NAR nonsense. What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 332 of the Massive Agent Podcast. I'm your host, Dustin Brohm, here in Salt Lake City, Utah. And today I'm going to be kicking some people in the face, right? Well, okay, that was violent. That was a little excessive and aggressive. I'm going to be gently tapping some people on the bum, all right? Because it's good that we as real estate agents are paying attention to changes that are about to happen, right? We must do that. However, I'm seeing far too many agents get way too bogged down in the play-by-play of what's happening with every individual lawsuit and which attorney did what and all the shit. Look, all you have to do right now is focus on your damn business. And then guess what? You may actually grow it. You may actually get more of it. You may actually be able to serve more buyers and sellers if you focus on serving buyers and sellers. And I'm not saying to bury your head in the sand. So we'll dive deeper. If you're new to the show, welcome. I already did my introduction. I'm not going to do it again. So here's the deal. Facebook groups, especially, I just see far too many average real estate agents obsessed with the NAR settlement, what it means, and you jump to conclusions, right? Here's the thing. I believe you should just ignore it all. Ignore it all, because once there's actually some clarity, you'll hear about it. Once you know what changes are happening, how they're going to be implemented, when they're going to be implemented, all of that, they're going to tell you. You're going to learn about it, right? It's going to be very obvious, but I'm struggling because I don't want you to ignore it forever, but I want you to keep your eye on the ball, which is your damn business. Focus on your marketing. I see agents that know every aspect of every lawsuit and all, which brokerage has settled and which brokerages haven't settled and why some were not included in the settlement because they over $2 billion in production or all this shit, right? And if that's really that interesting to you, great. But if you're spending time on that, I need to ask you, how's your CRM? Is that organized? Is that up to date? Have you properly tagged all of your contacts? Is everyone assigned to a drip campaign or a follow-up plan? I bet not. How about, have you recorded that video that you've been procrastinating? Have you started that new YouTube channel that you've been telling yourself you're going to do for a year and a half? Have you done the thing that you've been telling yourself you're going to do? Have you, for God's sakes, are you eating healthy? Are you exercising regularly? Are you consuming enough water or are you just sucking down Monster Energy drinks for breakfast? And they're glowing green, by the way. That's healthy. I'm a little bit perturbed today, obviously, because I can't fathom for the life of me how agents will complain about how hard the market is and the market conditions and interest rates. God damn those interest rates. They're not coming down yet. Fuck. The interest rates are still high. So I can't. Meanwhile, there are agents with their head down who are focused on their business and they're having their best year ever. So which camp do you want to be in? Do you want to be fully up to date on all the NAR settlement stuff? Or do you want to have a thriving business where you're selling a shitload of real estate? I believe you have to pick one. You've got to pick one. It's no different than the agents who are obsessed with everything political, like they're all up to date on everything that's happening with the Democrats and the Republicans and all the latest out of Washington. And they follow Fox News religiously, or CNN, God forbid, or MSNBC, God forbid. Well, they all fucking suck, right? So God forbid any of that shit. If you are overly obsessed with politics, I bet your business is suffering. I bet you're broke. I bet at a minimum, you're struggling. Well, that's because your focus, all your time and effort and your mental energy is on shit that doesn't matter to you. It doesn't affect you, or at least you have no freaking control over it. So why don't you focus on what you do have control of, which is your business, which is your marketing, which is your education. Like, when was the last time you took a mindset course? When was the last time you went to a conference or hired a coach or read a book? When was the last time you read a fucking book? So if you're reading MSNBC but not a book, no wonder you're struggling. So rather than the play-by-play of all the NAR stuff, and okay, I'm going to clarify this one last time. I'm not saying you don't need to know about any of it. What you need to know about is what is happening, why has it happened, and then how are things changing as a result? And what does that mean for your buyers, your sellers, and your clients, and for you as a business person? You should have some clarity on that already, but some of it we don't know yet. We don't know the timeline. We don't know how stuff's going to be implemented and rolled out. So until we do, until there is clarity, then just ignore it. Put your head down. I promise you, you're gonna learn about it once there's actually some clarity. So you get to pick what you prioritize in your life. You do. If you're an unhealthy person, if you lack energy, if you don't like the way you look in the mirror, it's because you've prioritized wrong when it comes to nutrition and exercise, or your lack thereof, right? I mean, don't get mad at me for this. You know this is true, right? When I was out of shape and didn't have any energy, and it was hard to wake up in the morning, and I didn't like the way I looked in the mirror, it's because I knew what I had to do, but I didn't fucking do it because I let myself get distracted with other bullshit. So if your business has gotten fat and out of shape, if your business is unhealthy, it's because you're focused on the wrong shit. So if that's you, if your business is obese, not in a good way, right? If your business bank account is obese, congratulations. If your CRM, if your pipeline is obese, congratulations. That's not what the fuck I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying. If your business is out of shape, it's because you're focused on the wrong shit. You've put other things as a higher priority, even if you don't think that they are. Look at what you spend your time doing. Look at what you spend your time consuming when you're scrolling Instagram, when you're scrolling TikTok, or whatever the hell. Meanwhile, while you're wasting your time doom scrolling and reading articles and watching podcasts and all this stuff about N.A.R's latest, this, that, and the other, and this attorney said this one to the other one, have you had that conversation with your clients you've been meaning to have? How about, have you spent time with your kids today? Have you, and if that's important to you as a parent, have you started figuring out and making plans and moving towards buying your time back, creating an actual business, getting some leverage in it? And there's so many different ways to do that. I've talked about this on many episodes before, and I will again in the future. I am all about helping agents become entrepreneurs. But first, you've got to be pretty freaking honest with yourself about how you're prioritizing your time, because the N.A.R settlement as a priority over business building is all fucked up. And you know it's fucked up. And a lot of you, I'm not mad at for this, but you just slowly got yourself to where you're so focused on this stuff. And now, because I'm saying this, because you're hearing this right now, because I'm jumping up and down on your toes right now, you're like, oh shit, I didn't realize I let my eye off the ball. You took your eye off the ball, right? We'll put it back on. Reprioritize, because the N.A.R play-by-play is not it. That's not it. You need a general understanding of certain things. That's it. And if you want to really stay up to date on everything in a way that doesn't take much of your time, keeping current matters. Try kcm.com/bam. I don't know why you haven't done the free trial for keeping current matters yet. I don't understand that. It's a free trial. And I would not be promoting keeping current matters as a tool that you should have in your tool belt that all the top producers already freaking have. I wouldn't be promoting that if it wasn't massively impactful. And it's free to try out, and you haven't done it. Talk about fucked up priorities. Now, those of you that take this as a wake-up call and you know that you fucked up somehow, you're the ones that are going to win. It's the ones that get offended by this, or a little bit butthurt, or a little bit triggered, or whatever stupid word you want to use these days. Triggered is such a stupid fucking word. But if you're triggered, that's your choice, isn't it? That's your choice. Get your eye back on your business. Have the conversations you need to have, record the videos, create the content, launch the thing, create the thing, organize. Get your CRM dialed in. If you have people that you met with 3 weeks ago that you're like, oh yeah, I forgot about them, because your system's fucked up. Dial in everything. And then if you still have time after literally everything is firing on all cylinders, then you can go watch the N.A.R. play-by-play. But spoiler alert, you won't want to, because if you're that dialed in, you're achieving and you're performing at such a high level, you're going to know that's not important. So get to work, get refocused, because it's not okay anymore to continue using interest rates, the market, some external thing as an excuse why you are underperforming. You're underperforming because you have chosen to, whether you realize that or not. And it starts with one activity at a time, one decision at a time. Go read The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. If you haven't read The Slight Edge, incredible book. That's just one of many books on the Massive Agent book list that you can find. Oh, where the hell is that? Matt, I forget. Somewhere in my bio. Go check out the link in my Instagram bio. There's a link to my Amazon store and a bunch of books I recommend. The Slight Edge is such a great concept because it shows you how one decision, like one little meaningless thing here or there, pretty soon they compound over time. And if you do, like if you eat unhealthy, if you eat McDonald's just a few times a week, pretty soon over a few years you're unhealthy, right? What does one meal matter? Well, it really doesn't. What, like you go eat like shit for one meal? It really doesn't matter. It doesn't. But if you do it a few times and then you do it over a course of months or years, and pretty soon you're like, oh shit, I'm unhealthy. But if you just don't do that and those things compound and pretty soon you're like, oh shit, I'm pretty healthy. It compounds over time. So what you do today absolutely matters. Absolutely matters. So turn off the N.A.R. bullshit. Shut it off. Stop listening to other people. There will be other agents who want to spend their time doing that. You don't have to participate. You could focus on your business. That's it. Thanks for listening. Share this episode with somebody who needs to hear it, and get your ass back to work and get refocused. Thanks for listening. See you guys.